Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for this very first Community Roundtable of the 2023-24 school year. We are absolutely delighted to be broaching the topic of student government today, remembering what the great educational philosopher John Dewey once said. I quote, "I believe that education is a process of living and not a preparation for future living. And indeed, we at CIS believe that student government must be a process of actually governing and not simply a dress rehearsal for some future experience."
My name is Brian Mulcahy. I've been at CIS for 28 years this year, I think. And of course I work in the domain of student life in the secondary school.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I've been in CIS since reception.
Hello everyone, my name is Athena Xu. I was actually class of 2008 and I was the head girl.
Hi everyone, I'm Stanley and I'm currently a Year 12 student. I'm also a part of this year's Student Council Executive as a part of Team Pilot.
Hi, my name is Ting Ting. I'm currently a Year 12 student. I've been at CIS since reception, and I've been a part of Student Council in Year 5, Year 6, and Year 11, and most recently I've become Student Council Executive with Stanley at Team Pilot.
How does student government work right now in secondary at CIS?
When we think of government, we think of representative bodies. Which are the representative bodies of the school, the students in the secondary school. So chief among them would be the Student Council. And that Student Council is overseen by a Student Council Executive. Their work is informed by a constitution. It has 3 representatives per year level, which meet as a council to plan initiatives for students and to listen to student voice. And then on a monthly basis, they meet with members of faculty and school administration to convey their ideas, some issues that might have arisen, to help us and to help run the school better for them. So we've made many changes over the past couple of years with their advice. And then separate to that, we have a senior student committee, which was established by Mr. Walker way back, I think, in the 1990s. And the senior student committee is the representative body for senior students at the school. We recognize that they have a different set of freedoms, as it were, and a different type of voice, and they need to be able to use that voice to navigate the school slightly differently. So there is some differentiation. The senior student committee is overseen and chaired by the head boy, head girl. They meet on a weekly basis. They're advised by heads of years 12 and 13. But the two marry at certain points too. So for example, we also have SSC representation on the monthly forums. And we have SSC and SCE, Student Council Executive, representation on the whole school advisory council, which also includes primary school student council representatives, parents, and also faculty members. So you'll see it adopts different forms at different times. Mr. Lynch chairs the whole school advisory council. But one thing you'll find is that their students are at the center of all of those meetings. Student voice is at the center, and they advise school on everything from the calendar to the student handbook and the policies in the handbook to the kind of nitty-gritty of everyday life.
Why do you believe that it's important for schools to have strong student governments?
I personally believe a strong student government really bridges the relationship between student, school administrators, and also school leadership. So this really ensures students' needs are heard, and this, I believe, they will feel valued and really fosters CIS school spirit.
I've really learned to see how school as a microcosm of society really teaches you how to sort of balance the needs of students and schools. So sometimes students will have initiatives that they really want to propose, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily align with the school's goals or our vision. Being part of student government really teaches you how to pitch an idea, how to come up with an initiative, how to conduct your own research to make sure that your initiative can become something realistic and tangible and can actually have a place and an impact in the school.
Like, I was also a Year 5, Year 6 student council member, and the school needs the perspective and voice from students. Like, it is essential to conduit through which their ideas, concerns, perspectives, and angles to whatever's going to happen in the school and what's going to get implemented.
I know it can be very daunting for some younger students to pitch some initiatives that they have to maybe the teachers or even the older years. So having someone in your year group that may be your friend or just someone that's your age that understands you better, it really helps you relay the idea to maybe the teachers or the principals that can actually make a difference.
As educators, I think our role, a key part of our role, is to listen, and to be active listeners to student voice, to understand it for what it is, which is honesty and integrity and authentic, and to be able to harness that voice in the service of the school, as you suggest, Stanley, a bridge for good.
I wanted to follow up and ask you as well
Yeah.
a little bit how we identify that a school actually has a strong student government.
I think one aspect is that you can see an active student body. So this could look like student-led initiatives, student-led organizations. We have different branches of student council. So you have the student year reps, you have the student council executive, and there are many, many more. So the fact that you have an active student body that is engaged in making the school a better place, I think is a really important signal that shows both students within the school and people who enter the school that student voice is really valued here at CIS.
I think there are a few skill sets that really will drive a strong student leader. So number one is you need to be a humble listener. Always prioritize the needs of your peers. Because we are such a diverse student community, we come from the East, we come from the West. Everyone has different needs, and it's so important for you to really prioritize their needs. And then besides representing them, remember, you're put in a very special place to actually do something about it. So you have the advocate role here. When you pick up something, when you notice something is wrong, be the advocate and represent that minorities.
It's not something that's, we're not performing, it's not a rehearsal. And therefore encouraging student leadership to be very proactive and to think big and not to set any limits or to see, often happens, Ryan, people look behind over their shoulder and say, what did they do last year? We'll just do what they did last year. And so what we must encourage is students to really take that opportunity. Your point about upward communication is important, to see their decisions and as having a real, possibly long-lasting impact on the school, not just temporary.
How do you feel, in all honesty, we're faring right now at CIS?
Like CIS, I feel like it's a very diverse community, as you mentioned, and lots of people have different talents. So being a leader doesn't necessarily mean that you have to run for head boy or head girl. Maybe you're very talented in the arts department, so you might want to, share some of your knowledge with people in the community and be a leader in the arts department in that sense.
I think one thing that the school did really well in year 7 in exploratory, there are many student-run activities, which when they didn't have the chance to maybe become a student council, become a head boy, head girl, they could actually run these activities for us to make sure they know what it's like to being a leader.
Would have been a trend of younger students getting involved in the earlier stages and really becoming more active, and I think this has just been really great and is really a representation of how far student leadership in CIS has gone. And I think the entire culture in CIS and the entire environment, for me as a student, I feel like I have a lot of freedom to start any initiative that I wish. There are many existing student-led organizations that I can collaborate with, or if I want to create something new, it's very easy to get teacher support as well as student support and to recruit students from lower years. And so I think that sort of environment of collaboration is also really conducive to learning and growth and student leadership.
Ting Ting and Stanley, you recently ran for this position as student council executive. Tell us a little bit more about that experience.
Personally, I think it really stems from being at this school so long. There are definitely parts that you truly identify with, parts that we really love about CIS, the community, the entire spirit, sort of how collaborative the entire environment is. And I think another aspect that I really enjoyed about running and campaigning is really just communicating with the lower years, communicating with students beside me, students who are in years lower than me, and sort of understanding their needs.
I think it's not so much about the initiatives that we propose, because let's say we might implement some of Team Summer or the other team's proposals that they initially brought up. That's something we can do now that we've won the elections. I think it's more about the people who's truly in the team. So I think that's very important, having great team chemistry and working as a whole unit rather than splitting up and having different ideas. We ended up settling more on having a fun image and presenting ourselves as someone that is easily accessible and someone that especially lower years, can reach out to very easily.
How do you think you'll measure your success at the end of the year?
At the end of the day, I think really just to try our best to see how much we can accomplish. I think the most important thing is to be consistent with our efforts, to constantly be having meetings, talking to each other.
I think our ultimate goal is to leave a legacy as Team Pilot. So what we really want to do is implement stuff that is long-lasting, and in order to do that, it'll probably need to align with some of the school's goals too. Maybe things that are proposed in Vision 33 that can work alongside with it. So that way, we can really leave something behind that we are proud of.
We have other instances of student government, including the very important roles of head boy and head girl. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience in that role?
I personally think head girl, head boy, they are slightly more leadership facing. So we are also a bridge, but we are more so communicating message from leadership side to students. So it's a little bit opposite with student council, where you raise your voice upward, and then where we distribute ideas and vision from leadership downward. And it really helped me and Ben to shape our communication skills and to shape our sort of execution skills when we receive sort of vision from leadership. The biggest satisfaction is seeing your initiatives becoming real.
To just choose, just to be a little bit thought-provoking, one initiative that you feel the school really needs.
Really putting more emphasis on the bilingual side of CIS, because I think that is something that makes CIS stands out from the other international schools in Hong Kong, having a bilingual education with both Chinese and English.
Well, something lacking that I found in the school year is community service. And it's really important, as we have to be grateful for everyone surrounding us, helping us. So maybe every year there might be one Braemar Hill CIS Community Day, still working on the name.
That's a great idea.
Where we can just devote one day, just one day.
So the whole school takes off.
Yeah, just to give back
That's a
to the
great idea.
community.
I think it would be wonderful if we had a no tech day where we all took off into the community and did some work.
What do you hope to accomplish this year with your fellow teammates of Team Pilot?
We really want to focus on the media this year, short-form content, videos. We really want to pump out as much of them as possible to really embody school spirit and, to promote a tighter community.
In terms of more practical initiatives, we want to collaborate with Kin Foods, as we've received some students talking about the lines being a bit long, and we're currently working on the researching process, so really understanding how long do students really need to line up to get food, and working with Kin Foods to see how we can mitigate that situation or alleviate the issue. In terms of student life, we also want to have more bonding between lower years and upper years. So this would include student workshops in collaboration with other student-led organizations, such as the SAE, such as subject councils, to talk about how we can host more advice sessions between upper years and lower years to help lower years build connection and also have that sort of mentoring from upper years as well.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. We are always deeply moved by these special moments when the various stakeholders of our community come together, led by our students, to talk about a matter of the utmost importance to us all. We do hope you'll join us again in another month, and until then, take care. Thank you, thank you, thank you.